Hi there, my name's Lisa, and welcome to my channel. The sun is setting in beautiful Terceira, and I'm starting a channel to talk about this new life that I've created.
My life did make sense on paper, except my soul kept yelling, "You do know this isn't the whole story, right?" So I left the life everyone understood and moved with my family and my very, very sassy French bulldog to the Portuguese volcanic island where my father was born. I traded in my heels to be barefoot on lava rocks, to remember who I am when finally the noise stops. I don't have it all figured out, but I'm here, I'm discovering, and I'm choosing to make the second half unapologetically me. If you're still writing your story, you are in the right place, and we can do this together.
I wanted to share my journey about leaving everything in North America and coming to the beautiful islands of the Portuguese Azores with my family, my fabulous husband, 2 teenagers, and the most sassy French bulldog you've ever met. If I look back at the first half of my life, it was an amazing experience, which one I'm very grateful for. I was definitely the queen of the hustle club, the party hard, work hard philosophy, which I appreciated because it gave me a lot of beautiful things and achievements to help my family thrive. The second half of my life, a lot of things started to happen within my body, within my soul, within my desires. This little awakening in me that was like, life is great and I'm very grateful, but as changes were starting to happen around me and as my children were going into the teenage years, and as I looked at my husband and I and wondering, who are we going to be when the children leave? There was this little whisper that got louder and louder that said, you know what, Lisa, this isn't the way we spend the second half. So this channel is about a coming home in sense for me. It's about me exploring these beautiful archipelago Portuguese islands that I'd love to share with you. It's about me reconnecting with a part of me, an authentic younger version of me, a lot of the dreams that I had to push down to do the right things I was told to do. Get the job, go to the university. And I don't regret any of those things at all. But there's this time for me to go back and get some of the things I shoved down and put aside. This little girl dreams. I want to be curious again. I want to come back and feel alive again. I was living a life full of Zoom calls and protein shakes to supplement my meals because there just wasn't enough time after I cooked for the kids, took care of Diesel. And there was this question that started happening within me of, how do I want to live? How do I want to age? How do I want to spend the second half? And that got me to a lot of asking interesting questions. I had the beautiful role modeling of a Portuguese family that was born on this island. My grandparents were from here, my family before, and my father was actually born here. But I was the first born in North America, and that provided me with some beautiful experiences I'm forever grateful for. Along the way came a little bit of burnout, became a little bit of stuffing parts of me down to fit in. And so the second half of my life, there's no fitting in. There's just curiosity, exploration, getting it wrong, being messy, getting my hands in the dirt, and healing parts of me that I probably changed a lot along the way. And that's okay, because this is a rediscovering. This is a way where I want to talk about longevity, but not just from supplements and going to the gym and cool biohacks, which I don't have any negativity about. I just have a curiosity about how my grandparents lived and how, if we look back in different generations, a simpler life, how that really helps us age. I had an amazing experience with my great-grandmother who lived to be over 100. And this was without all the supplements, going to the gym and the biohacks. So in a way, I've come home to a place I've never lived before, but my soul knows. My soul feels connected with. And I want to share this, all the journey of it, the fabulous islands, the food, the joy, the questions around longevity, the questions about who I am, being that I have descendants from here, but lived my first half somewhere else, but I've come home, this messy middle of identity and who I want to be and how I want to live now. I want to share that because when I was going through these questions, there were some brave souls on YouTube who shared this stuff. I got to watch their journeys. I got to watch them try different things and live in different places and explore. And in some odd little way, even though I've had a big, bold life and I've done pretty wild, crazy things, part of me needed to see that role modeling to make change. So here I am. Maybe there's someone out there who wants to see someone live a wild, crazy life, redesigning the second half, questioning their identity in a way that isn't negative, but it's in a way of saying, who do I want to be now? Not because it was wrong, but because there's a new season available to me and I want to grab all of it. So on this channel, we'll be talking about all of these beautiful stories, and I'm willing to go first and fail and succeed and laugh and have fun. We'll talk about me diving into organic permaculture growing. Not that I'm an expert at it, but some pretty amazing results have happened so far that I'm willing to share. And a little teaser here, the best thing that grew my garden wasn't the food. It was me and who I became during it. We'll talk about some healing and looking back in generations. We'll talk about my language and some of the greatest fears. I have some fabulous blooper reels about what it's like to leave behind a country and who you were in one place, and the messy middle part before you become and get settled in the new place. And that settling in the new place is still going to take a little bit more of time. And I'm okay with that, because from a health and longevity perspective, my brain is alive. It's thinking new thoughts, it's having fun, and there's this curiosity that I didn't really have because my life was very predictable, in the best ways, but very predictable. So here I am, boldly living in front of the camera, which I never thought I would do, living in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean on 3 tectonic plates of a volcanic island, remembering who I am, deciding who I want to be, doing it afraid, doing it really uncomfortably, but feeling more alive than I felt in years. And I'd like to invite you to come along for this journey. I'm going to share really great questions because I love great questions. It's what gets me here, and if I look back at all the reinventions of my life, it's really great questions that help get me there. And if I'm not asking myself great questions, I'm asking really crappy ones that don't get me what I want. So I'm going to share with you the questions I ask myself along this journey, suggest some ones for you to journal through, and together we can maybe form a new community to discover how we want to live. The world is changing in so many ways I can't control. But the thing I can control is who I'm going to be in it, how I'm going to live, and how I get to help people as we come together and do it together. Because my grandparents and my dad lived through change. Change has been a constant in our society. And it's the stories of who we are in those moments of change that leave a legacy. And I'm definitely curious about the legacy I want to live. It's going to be much more than money or something in a will. I want to live a legacy of food. I want to live a legacy of a bold grandma. I want to definitely be that person in the family legacy chart that's like, this woman here, what was she about? This is the crazy grandma that changed everything. So yes, I'm picking up the thread my grandfather weaved when he left this beautiful island almost 75 years ago in search of a better life or more opportunity. I can only imagine how hard that was because this place is fantastic. But I'm picking up that thread and I'm weaving it back again to do the same thing he and my grandmother did by leaving here for me. I want to do for future generations. And I want to have the most fun along the way doing it. So if you'd like to come along for this journey, it'll be wild, a little unexpected, and it's really about a woman rediscovering her authentic self, vulnerably, curiously, and because I know it's good for me. And hey, isn't it about time? If you can't do it after 50, when can you? So subscribe, like. We'll be joining a newsletter soon so I can share some questions, some updates from this beautiful archipelago in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. So thanks for watching if you've stayed this far. Lots of love from a small little island in the middle of the Atlantic.